Coming up, I'll give you tips for getting hired if you're over the age of 50. And we'll look at your profession and the pandemic. We'll take your calls and your chats, and it all starts right now. I'm coming to you live from Ramez Studios in Nashville, and you're joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and how you can get there. It's all about you because you were created to fill a unique role. You were needed. You must do it. Let's go. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Now, the YouTube show, relatively new, but we are getting really, really good news on the data. So a couple things. Number one, this is your opportunity to call in live right now. Right now. Madison is standing by. We've already got calls in the chute ready to go. But we still have lines that are open, and this is your opportunity. You're watching right now, and you're going, I need to talk to Ken. I need some clarity. I need some direction. Got a couple options. Want to use you as a sounding board. Come on. Right now, look at it right there on the screen. There's the number, 844-747-2577. Also, you can submit your question in the chat window right next to this video window, and the team will get it to me here on the laptop. We'll get to those in a little bit. 844-747-2577. If you're enjoying the show, hit the like button right down there and hit the subscribe button, and maybe share the show. That's how we grow, and we are growing. We're very excited because the need is huge. So we get a good amount of callers on this program that are over the age of 50 and either are looking to transition or have been displaced. And so I saw an article from U.S. News trying to bring you relevant content that's outside of the Ken Coleman Show as well, and then translate it for you. This is a good article from U.S. News, 7 tips for getting hired after the age of 50. Let me give you the context for this. The average duration of unemployment for job seekers age 55 to 64 was 21 weeks in March 2020. Now, this is before COVID hits and everything gets skewed, okay? Compared with an average of 17 weeks for all workers under the age of 50. So there is some real data that says it's harder to get hired over the age of 50, specifically in this data, 55 to 64. All right, but before we scream ageism and we kind of say, well, this is a lid that I can't do anything about, I beg to differ. Here are the quick 7 strategies, and I want to teach on a couple. Start your job search right away. Pretty straightforward. Don't sit around and wait. Move quickly. Don't lick your wounds. You know, you can lick your wounds and kind of get healthy over whatever happened in the process of immediately looking for opportunities. Number 2, use your connections. You are over the age of 50, so it's presumable that with a longer career and a longer life, you have a lot more connections than somebody half your age. That's your greatest opportunity. Again, I preach this every day on the show. We talk about the web of connections that I wrote about. Excuse me, I had peanuts right before the show. Did I not tell you, Joe? I don't know why I do this, but we shall carry on. Here's the deal. I talk about this all the time on the show, the web of connections. And you know way more people than you even realize. And again, sociology research has proven that acquaintances lead to more jobs than the close personal network. Keeping on, here we go. Reassure a younger manager. If you get in a situation where you're interviewing with a younger manager, understand that the fact that you're older, which means you have more experience, is intimidating to some. Now, may not be to all, but assume that it might be. And when you reassure them, couple things. Don't highlight how much older you are than them and how much more experience you have. Just say, look, I know I'm older and been around longer, but I'm not interested in your position. I want to be an asset to you. I want to help you win. And so what you do is you reassure them if there is an insecurity there. Don't mention your age on the resume and shorten the resume. Okay? Shorten the resume. You don't want to show 30, 40 years of experience if it's not relevant. Again, need some help on that? The Ken Coleman Show website, kencoleman.com. We have the Get Hired guides. And the resume is one of them. We tell you how to do it and why to do it that way. Make sure you explain that you're not overqualified. The overqualification thing many times comes from a expectation where a hiring manager sees your age and they think, well, because you're older and been around longer, you're going to need more money. And then they say, well, you're overqualified. Again, you want to address that just like you do addressing the age issue of the manager being younger. And then finally, demonstrate your fluency with technology. You know, technology is shifting all the time. We've seen it shift in the midst of this COVID crisis. So assure them that you are up to date and you are savvy and ready to go, and there won't be any limitations. I think those are really good tips there, and you can win in the workplace after the age of 50. I promise. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Again, get the chat questions in. We'll get to those in a few minutes, but we go to Belinda first, who joins us in Cincinnati, Ohio. Belinda, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Great. Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
I wanted to ask a question about career paths, and I have primarily been in retail banking for years. I have a college degree, but I really feel like I need to do something else, especially in light of Dave Ramsey and the principles of living debt-free.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, what do you think? What are you thinking about? I think you got some ideas. I want you to share them with me.
Well, I, have done this for so long, and I'm good with people. I really want to do something to make a difference, and I'm currently in the retail banking environment, we sell a lot of loans and a lot of, credit products, which I'm struggling with even wanting to sell.
I understand that. But again, two things. That's not what you want to do. I want you to tell me some ideas that you have. You know what you do well. You've got a very extensive work background, and you know what you do well. And you love to work with people. Well, who are the people you'd want to work with? What's the problem they have? What's the challenge that you want to solve, or the problem you want to solve for them? And what are the solutions that help do that that you can get connected to? What comes to mind when I hit you with that?
Financial investments.
Great.
And real estate.
Okay. I like it. Now we're getting somewhere, Belinda. So, which of those two get you most excited? If I told you you can't fail, you'll be successful in both, which, by the way, that's not a fantasy, that's true. And so you have to choose. Which one would you choose?
Probably the financial investments.
Yeah, because you love numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You're good with numbers. You've also been participating in Dave Ramsey's financial piece and the baby steps.
Yeah, we've taught a class.
Yeah, you love it. So shifting from helping people get a loan product that you don't like and there's nothing you like about that, and it feels gross to you, even though it's not. You're not being dishonorable in being involved in working with a bank. Just because we don't believe in debt doesn't mean that somebody who works for a bank is an awful person peddling poison, okay? So you need to get over that, all right? Because you're not a bad person. But the fact that you have a resounding answer there, and it's financial investing and advising, that really aligns with who you are. So now that's the get clear stage. I think you're clear. The next stage is get qualified. What do you need to learn? What licensing, form of education, and training do you need to become a financial advisor? Do you know the answer to that question?
Yeah, the Series 6 and the 63. And
there you go. There you go. So we look at that and we go, okay, how much is that going to cost? And then based on your financial situation, and I'm guessing you have financial peace, so it's not going to be difficult for you to shift some funds to getting qualified. And so that's going to tell you your timeline. Your timeline's probably quicker than other people. And so we look at the timeline, we go, okay, 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is, I've got the qualification, and now I'm ready to get started. Well, get started is stage 4. What's stage 3? You can do that while you're getting qualified, and that's get connected. Now, you have a jump on this too, Belinda. The jumpstart that you have is, Dave Ramsey has an entire national network of what we call SmartVestor Pros. And I'll bet you there's a good amount of them in Cincinnati, Ohio. You can go right to daveramsey.com when this call's over and find out who's in Cincinnati, Ohio. I would reach out to them and say, hey, I'm a believer in everything Dave Ramsey does. That's how I got in touch with you guys. I've been in banking for this amount of years. I've got the skill set. I'm going to go get qualified. I just want to reach out and say, hey, if you're looking to expand and bring somebody into the business who can help grow your business, I'm your gal. Love to talk. And do that with every one of those people.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
That's how you get there, Belinda. So go, go, go. I love it. Next, we are going to, is this the country? Okay, I want to make sure I'm reading this right. We're going to Jordan, and Ramez is on the line. Ramez, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. So after asking myself the questions, it's becoming clear to me that I want to become a math teacher.
Okay.
And also play a role in helping students gain good habits, become more disciplined, gain skills that last in their entire lives and not just in school. Basically telling them what I wish I knew back then.
Yeah.
The problem is I'm the major now that I'm hardly interested in, but I don't think it's that easy just walking away. Because I got this major, I don't know if you can call it scholarship, but I got it only because my father's in the military, and any other costs that arise, they pay for, my parents pay for, so I don't pay for anything. So, I have 2 years in, and I actually do well, but I feel I might not be able to keep it up.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on. I want to make sure I understand you. Make sure you got that phone as close to your mouth as possible. So you are 2 years into your college education, and it is... I'm sorry?
2 years left.
Okay, you got 2 years left, and you're in a major that you're only mildly interested in and really doesn't prepare you to be the thing you want to be, which is a math teacher. Am I understanding that right?
Exactly.
Okay, and you also... You're in college and you're going for free because your father's in the military. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the challenge? How do I switch gears with only 2 years left to get qualified to be a math teacher? Is that the question?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just wondering, how can I break it to them? Should I even leave? Should I just try to do this and then just pursue my dream?
Well, let me ask you this. Well, let's start with this. What does it take? What does it take to be a math teacher in Jordan? What are the qualifications that are necessary?
Well, probably good communication skills, good understanding of the entire subject.
Yeah, but do you have to have a math? Do you have to have a major in math at the higher education level?
Probably don't have to, but I think it helps. The problem is that I don't want to. I'm starting to think I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go in that direction now. Okay,
but I'm trying to help you. But Ramez, I'm trying to help you. What I'm asking is, what do you need to get hired? And I'm asking, so you said you don't need a math major, but do you need a higher education degree in the country of Jordan to teach? In America, you can't get a teaching job without a degree, not in a traditional school. So my question is, do you have to have at least a college or university degree to become the thing you want to become? Yes or no?
No.
Great. I had no idea. So really, you just got to understand math, and you understand math. You're a very proficient student of math, and you get math. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they got the communication skills to be able to communicate it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What else is needed? What else is needed for you to be qualified?
Probably friends. The things that I could do it, people sticking up for me, contact.
Yeah. No. That has nothing to do with qualification. That's recommendation, which is great. So it sounds to me like you just have got to get yourself an interview where you prove to them that you're really gifted in math. You don't have to have the college degree. Sounds like you don't have to have any other additional certification. So that being the case, then I would go for it. There's no reason for you to be in college. Now, I mean, again, let me be careful here. That's what I believe, by the way. But your parents may go, well, you need to finish. And so then you may have to deal with that relational situation there. But as far as your professional advancement, if you don't need a math degree or a college degree to be a math teacher, then I would say get after being a math teacher. And you got to have to deal with your parents on that and tell them why. Give them the clear vision. I want to do this. Here's why I want to do this. Here's all that I need to do this. And being in college for another 2 years doesn't qualify me for that. And so as a result, I don't want to be here. I want to get after the thing I want to do. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's where you stand. So yeah, you got my permission, man. Your head's on straight. What are you worried about?
Yeah. I'm not sure if just the decision is too much for me. Should I go now or should I do it? And I don't know if I can do it no longer, to be honest with you.
Well, there's your answer. You're barely hanging on at college right now, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, then there's your answer. Unless you can give me, or quite frankly, yourself, if you can't give yourself a good reason for why you'd stay another 2 years, then don't. There's no reason. Life's too short to be miserable. You know exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it. Go. This conversation is over. Hey, this is not time to talk anymore, Joe. It's go time. You can talk and think and talk some more and think some more. But you notice the one word that's not included in that scenario? It's your heart. Nathan, I don't know if you can zoom in on the basketball behind me. Can we zoom in on that? I didn't plan to say this, but there's I'm a big basketball fan, and I've got memorabilia and stuff on the shelves behind me. Look at the message right there as Nathan zooms in on that. That's from the greatest college basketball coach. Well, let's say he and John Wooden. People might argue about John Wooden, but they're the best. He's the winningest coach in college basketball, and he's the very first person I ever interviewed. And when the interview's over, he gave me that as a gift, and that's what he wrote on there, follow your heart. And I have it on the shelf, not just because I love Coach K, the Duke legendary basketball coach. I have it on the shelf because I want people to see that as they watch the YouTube show. And every once in a while, they may see that and they go, what does that say? And it says, follow your heart. Ramez, follow your heart. 844-747-2577. Here we go. Over to the chat room. Michael writes in, I want to start a bookkeeping side hustle. And I'm working at a full-time job as well as a part-time job, and I have $73,000 in debt. Would it be okay to take $100 to $200 from my budget once a month to start that side hustle? You only have so much time. I'm looking at this and I'm going, by the way, Joe, this is why I like people to call. Folks, if you got this kind of question, would you please call? Because here's the question I have for Michael. Okay, so Michael, I'm gonna do my best to give you the questions that I would need answers to and walk you through what I would do. So number one, how many hours a week in addition to the full-time job are you working in the current part-time job? Would the side hustle be a temporary third job with the goal of replacing the current part-time job? Because I know that eventually you'd love to have the bookkeeping as a full-time job. So I need you to answer those questions for yourself. If you can get the bookkeeping side hustle up and going, and still do the part-time job, then I would say I'm for it. Because now you're putting another iron in the fire to make some more money to pay off the $73,000 in debt. And then you want to get it to a point, the bookkeeping, where maybe it replaces the part-time job. But you need that part-time job right now because you're $73,000 in debt. I'm assuming that's why you're working two jobs. So if you can do all three, then I say absolutely. That's the bottom line. If you can't, and you start to fray emotionally and physically because it's a lot, then I'd say hold off on the bookkeeping thing and get yourself to a point where you got enough debt relief that you can then maybe say, all right, short term, I'm going to quit the part-time job and then move into the bookkeeping job. So it depends on how much it changes your timeline on getting out of debt. But anyway, that again, I don't have all the details, but that's the way I'd look at it. Evelyn Platt writes in, what are some tips you have for research when it seems like there are too many options in the sense of companies to work for? Well, that's a great situation to be in where you have a really long list of companies and you start to think I have too many options. Well, first of all, you don't. So what you need to do is you need to do the research on all those options and begin to look at things like culture. What do people say out there? What do former employees say about them online? And please, asterisk on this advice. Put a filter on it that some of these people may be jilted employees and they're saying negative, nasty things. What do current employees and past employees say about the company? Go look up people who work on in LinkedIn and Facebook. You can find people that work for these companies. And what do they say about their company? If you have some friends that work at these companies, talk to them. They're going to be readily available with advice on whether or not they think this is a good company to work for, their opinion, if you will. So there are ways for you to find out, are these companies healthy cultures? Are they known for developing people and promoting people? That's how you narrow it down. In addition to, you may be looking at all these different positions, and then you get back to the normal construct that I teach, which is, are these positions in your sweet spot? They allow you to use what you do best, your talent, to do what you love to do most, your passion, to produce a result that matters most to you, mission. That's the other litmus test, if you will. So that's how you do that. Let's do one more. Morrow writes in, I've got some savings that give me the freedom to quit my job and look for something new. Would you still wait for the end of the crisis before doing such a move just to be safe? Not necessarily. So start looking for the something new now. Staying put, even though you got the savings. Let's not touch the savings unless it's advantageous to do so. Meaning, I got to get out in order to get in, so I'm going to have to touch a little savings. Other than that, try to stay in the job you don't like until you've landed the other job. That's the whole goal, is that we don't jump and leap into the abyss. We step from one stone onto the next stone, if you will. Stepping stones in the creek, okay? That's what we're talking about. But what I would do is I begin looking right now for the something new. And then as you look for the something new, are those something news hiring right now? And then we've got the stepping stone situation. If the something news are in a hiring freeze, then I would wait until the crisis is over. So there you go. Love the chat questions. Remember, you can fire those in the window, the chat window right next to the video that you're watching right now. And you can also email the program if you've got a straightforward question you want to get answered via email, ask@kencoleman.com. And you can reach out to me on Instagram. We do Instagram lives from time to time, and that's @KenColeman. And on Twitter, you can submit your questions via Instagram and Twitter. So feel free if you'd like to do that. And then, of course, I want to mention our official Facebook community, where we've got a lot of people, men and women, who listen to this program, and we've created an official community. It's a very safe place and a lot of advice there based on what I teach on the show here, and a lot of encouragement. So you're going to get equipped and encouraged on the official Facebook community. And then, of course, we're also on Facebook as well, The Ken Coleman Show. So all the ways, there they are. 844-747-2577. All right. I'm kind of tired of talking about Corona itself, okay? However, we're going to be talking about this current job market as a result of Corona for a while. And I saw an article that really inspired this teaching today, and it's Your Profession and the Pandemic. And what I want to do is as I like to keep things simple, I want to give you 2 questions that will make sure that you have the proper perspective in looking at your profession in light of the pandemic. Lots of P's there, right? We got the pandemic, we got your profession, and we got perspective. All right, now, so let's talk about this, because we've gotten this call. Well, Ken, I lost my job as a result of coronavirus, or I've been furloughed, and it's going to be a while before I come back, if I come back at all. And I'm just wondering, should I change careers? And I'm always very careful to say, okay, let's dig into why we're asking the question. And so read an article about this as well from another source. And I thought, okay, here's 2 questions. So the first question is, should I make a career change? This is not involving coronavirus, the pandemic. This isn't, should I make a career change because I lost a job? No, it's, should I make a career change? So prior to, let's just call it March, were you unhappy? Did you want to leave, or were you just kicking around the idea of, I think maybe I want something new? So what we're doing here is this is the getting clear on the big picture first. Getting clear on the big picture. Where do I want to be in 15, 20 years? What's my dream job? That's what we're asking. So we ask that first, because when we get that answer, it gives us the perspective of, I was feeling this way prior to whatever coronavirus has done to my current position and done to my perspective. Okay? So you got to get clear on the long term. And that's why I teach what I teach, stage 1 of the 7 stages to living the dream, essentially climbing your mountain and reaching your Mount Everest, your dream job. Okay, stage 1 is getting clear. The 3 questions. What do I do best? That's your talent, hard skills, soft skills. What do I love to do most? This is passion. This is the work itself, the task or the function, the role gives me high emotion and I have high devotion towards it, right? So emotion, we understand that, the feeling, and the devotion, that's the amount of time I put into it, okay? And then the 3rd clarifying question is, what results matter most to me? That's mission. All of our work produces a result. So what are the results that we get fired up because we are producing these results? So that's what we've got to answer about ourselves in the get clear stage. And when we see the answers to those 3 questions, what do I do best? What do I love to do most? What results matter most to me? We see, oh, this is where they all come together in the marketplace. That's the sweet spot where it just looks effortless to others and it feels effortless at times to us. And we are maximizing our productivity and efficiency. That's the idea, the analogy of the sweet spot. When the ball strikes the bat in the sweet spot zone, maximum performance is going to go farther and faster. That's what you long for. So in the sweet spot, where all 3 of those come together, are multiple jobs and, frankly, career paths, okay? So we've got to answer that question first. Should I make a career change? Now, to that end, you need to be going to kencoleman.com and taking the free Should I Quit My Job quiz. This takes about 2 minutes, super short, and it's going to spit out a report. You're going to get a score or a report in one of 4 categories, and this will confirm what you were already feeling. Now, let's get to the second question. Should I make a career change because of the pandemic? So now this is the short-term thinking. So we talked about long-term, but let's talk about the short-term thinking. Now we got it. This has nothing to do with my long-term. See, the pandemic is a change in circumstances, a change almost in the marketplace, right? Because of the pandemic, people were pushed out of their jobs. So now you've got a short-term problem that needs a short-term solution. So if you say, all right, am I changing jobs because of the market? Then if the answer is yes, I actually know I don't want to change careers, but right now I may have to go into a completely different job in a sector of the marketplace because I've got short-term needs. So that's the difference. What I'm hearing from people is they're saying, hey, Ken, should I change careers because of the pandemic? And that's the wrong question. It should be, should I change careers? Big picture. Then we look at it and we go, do I need to change careers in the light of the marketplace disrupting me and pushing me out of the nest? So it's a short term. So it's really not even a career, it's a job. And that's the perspective I want you to have. Very different reasons. You know, if I had to go do coaching right now, coach a basketball team or high school and go teach on that level, That would be a career change, but that would be a short-term deal. Short-term. It's not a change for the long term. It's a short-term pivot, if you want to call it that. Okay? So make sure you understand, if you're in that position, you're wondering, Ken, should I change careers? Keep it separate. Should I change career? Big picture, was I unhappy before the pandemic? Did I want to change prior to the pandemic? Or am I now just saying, do I need to make a change because of the pandemic? Two very different questions. Long-term, short-term. So there you go. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Let's go back to the phones. Phillip is in Vanceboro, North Carolina. Phillip, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. How you doing today?
Man, I'm living the dream. What's going on with you?
Well, one, I'm super excited. It's the first time I've called into any of the personalities. So slow me down if I start talking too fast.
Oh, I got you, man.
So I've been doing DirecTV installation for about 2 years. I love the constant changing environment, the constant seeing different people, talking with different people. Mm-hmm. I love doing that. I love being able to talk about God in my work too, depending on the situations. But I feel like I've reached my cap, the peak, the ceiling in where I'm at. Like there's no more. There's nowhere higher for me to go. And I feel like I'm getting that itch for change, to do something different.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to your show, trying to figure out, okay, what is it? What is something that I can do? And I've kind of got an idea, but I'm almost worried that I'm jumping at the first idea and getting over enthused about it and excited about it. Am I just running from one job to another, or is this legitimate something that I could actually do and be good at?
All right. Well, let's break it down, my man. What's this idea?
Sales.
Okay. Sales of what? What would you love to sell?
I want to sell something that is going to make a customer happy because they saved money and they're satisfied with the product.
Okay, great. That could be anything.
Yeah.
but that's good news. So I'm having some fun with you, but this to me aligns with what you just told us about what you loved and what you still enjoy. You just don't see a ladder. So you've hit a lid with DirecTV as far as that type of role where you're installing things and you're different scenarios, different customers. You love the people contact. That's you. You get the juice when you're interacting with people. So I think it's in alignment. And I don't think that you've got a crazy, wacky idea, and I don't think that you're jumping too soon. You're all about solutions. And you get the juice, when you show up with that satellite dish, and that customer is so excited to have all those channels or have a different type of thing, and you install it, and they see you up on the roof or on the side of the house putting it up, and they know they never could do it. And they just treat you like you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. Sales the same thing. A salesman is a solution provider. That's it. That's it. All that any person who is in sales, and I don't care what the product or service is, they are simply providing a solution. A solution to a problem. Or it doesn't have to be a problem. It could be just a want, right? So we could say a want or a need. That's what a salesperson is. My wife doesn't need a dress from Kate Spade, but she wants a dress from Kate Spade. And so when she goes in there, the gal who is selling her the dress, she is providing a solution. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to figure out what you would most come alive with when it comes to selling, you've got to answer that question. If you just got on a whiteboard right now, or you and I were sitting together and across the table from each other having a lemonade, and I would say, what would you most love to sell? Would it be, tell me what would it be? Here's the question. You ready to write this down? I want you to write this down. There we go. He's fumbling, folks. He's getting the pen. I love it. First time caller. I got to give you this so you don't forget it, because this is going to blow your mind how simple this is. You ready? I want you to write down these questions. Or actually, I want you to write down these words. Okay, I'm making this up on the fly. Okay, this is an exercise. I want you to write down product. Okay, on one line, or even products. and then services. So write products, plural, services, plural. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And then below that, I want you to just write down people I want to help, problem I want to solve, solutions I want to provide. All right? And what you're going to do is you're going to look at those three bottom kind of declarative sentences, and you're going to kind of say, well, what are the things that I get fired up about being a solution provider for? And so problem you solve, you could also say wants that I want to provide, you know? So you could be into the luxury products, you know? So whatever that is, whether it's a want or a need. What's that?
I like saving people money because since I started on an FPU with Dave Ramsey's classes, I've been super stoked and almost obsessed with the idea of being able to get debt-free and save people money.
Okay, great. So what are the products?
I can sell a product.
Great. So what are the products and services that you're aware of that help people save money? Now,
other than budgeting tools and finances.
Well, but I want you to get more creative than that. Because what if it's something that every person needs? What if it's a massive need? But you
cars.
There you go. Whatever it is. So I gave you the exercise. I want you to fill it out because now I've given you the way you need to think through this. Okay? Mm-hmm. What are the products or services that if the consumer has the right options, they can buy this and save money? Or what are the products and services that naturally are products that save people money? Okay? Mm-hmm. And so that's what you're doing. And you're really close. But I don't think there's any confusion at all in your head. You want to sell. You want to be a salesperson. But you want to sell something that you believe in. And specifically, you believe in it because it helps people save money. Or people are buying this thing, they need it, and they're buying the name brand, or they're buying all this other stuff with it, and you know they don't need it, and you've got a company that's got a product or service that gives them what they need at a much better price. Okay? So you can think of categories, all the different types of categories of the basic needs and wants of people that they're spending money on. It's not discretionary spending. It would be, you know, I've got to have it, or I really, really need it. You know, it's kind of a staple, if you will. And what are the discount products and services that would be a staple? And you know that they've been paying this much, a much higher price for something else, and they can get the same quality, if not better quality, at a lower price. That's what you're looking for. And then, dude, I'm going to tell you something. Phillip, you'll be fired up. You know what I mean? He will. He will be unstoppable. You know, so I don't know what that is. Could be everything from gutters to roofing to HVAC systems to, you know, things people need, and you want to get behind a company and a product that offers it at a really high level of quality and beats the market pricing. So it doesn't have to be a financial product is my point. But if it is, good for you. Do your research, figure out what you want to sell, and then get after it. My time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.